Mnuchin had quite a presence in markets. We know Yellen's market ability to, I suppose, tread the line in the middle. What can we expect from her?
Well, I think that you're going to see, I think all eyes are going to be on her. She's a sort of person who I think everybody in the financial world, certainly if you have a Bloomberg, if you're the sort of person who watches Bloomberg TV, you know Janet Yellen very well. You've seen her, you've followed her, you've tracked her every statement as she's been an oracle of Fed policy. This role is different, though. There is some amount of stuff that you look to the Treasury Secretary to try and guide policy. But I think Anne Marie in the lead-in made a very important and astute point, and that is to say that part of Yellen's job here is not just to be the person who is looked at for what she says, but also to be someone who is selling people on a course of action. So she'll be involved in these negotiations. She'll be involved in trying to persuade Republicans to go big on stimulus spending, the idea that rates are low, let's spend now, let's boost up the economy. There's, as we know, there's a $1.9 trillion plan from the incoming president that's on the table that they'll need to get at least 10 Republican votes in the Senate for. So there is a job to do here, and it'll be interesting to see how she starts to play that, and we'll get that first visual.
We also have, of course, Trump's last final day in office. Gallup now has his approval at 34%. Derek, I don't think a president has been below that since Truman at 32%. What are you expecting these final 24 hours of the Trump administration?
Well, it's really interesting, isn't it, Anne Marie? Because one of the things that we know is that Trump's approval rating never really got very good, but it also stayed in this band sort of in the 40s for some while. So this is actually a pretty good-sized drop for Trump. It's also running contra historical trends because usually a defeated president would rise slightly on the idea that, a sort of wistfulness. And that just not only hasn't happened, but it's exactly the reverse. Now, Trump has no public events on his schedule, but we do expect it to be active. We do expect some news maybe on pardons. There could be, triple digits in pardons. We've seen names floated of everyone from former politicians to famous rappers. The big question is, will the president attempt to pardon himself or his family or other people who are very close to him? And yes, there is a sense right now, I think, from a lot of the reporting that we're seeing that maybe some of those things won't happen, that the president won't pardon himself. But I think that I think it bears watching because you never, with Trump, put the probability of something at zero unless it definitely doesn't happen. And I think people are watching in these final 36-odd hours to see what the last moves are going to be.